Hi, BanDana Gramma here, and I'm standing outside on my 9,000 square foot suburban homestead. That's not very big. And I'm going to share with you the size of my place, give you some long shots so you can kind of understand what I'm working with. Because I want to encourage you that if you live in suburbia and you don't think you have enough land to do anything, you can do more than you think. So come on back. I'll show you what's growing on my dozen fruit trees. It's late April and I've already got fruit coming. And what happened to those little bitty tomato seeds you saw me plant indoors? I also have some indoor chores to do today. Now here's my backyard garden where I grow all my veggies, and there are raspberries up the side and there are fruit trees all around. Some of them espaliered onto a living fence. This is out front from the road, so I don't have a very big front yard. Here's my little pink dogwood tree. I've had it about 5 years, and this is the first year it really has produced beautifully. This is a red crepe myrtle just coming into color. Side yard needs work, but it does have blueberry and blackberry bushes. Here's a little overview of my herb garden with a lot of comfrey out here. And here's the front road right near my house. Not much room out there. Now these are dappled willow that line the front of the house. Gorgeous flower. There's irises too. Here's the long view of my garden. It's now late April. You can see things are a lot greener, and some of the things are up and others are starting to come up. I'm way down at bed one. I have like 10 beds here. And this is where you saw me planting lettuce. And it is coming up. Here's that red lettuce coming up, and bib lettuce, and spinach. And I have butter crunch lettuce. And at the very top, I see little wisps of Swiss chard coming up. So I'm excited about that. And remember when you saw me take the leaves off my strawberry bed and I didn't think I had many in here? Well, look, it's filling out beautifully. And there's lots and lots of flowers, blooms. So I'm going to have strawberries again. I'm excited about that. Now, I haven't planted this next bed yet. This was one of the hugelkultur beds that I dug, and it's going to produce well for me, I know, but I haven't planted it. And look at these onions. They wintered over. They were doing well in early spring, and look at, they've shot right up. They're getting heads on them. There's several different kinds in here. I'm delighted with those. And here you saw me plant some of my cool weather crops like broccoli and cauliflower and collard greens and beets. I planted 2 beds, and you see little ones peeking up through. They're a-coming. It's always an exciting time. Those are collards there. Yep. And then the next bed over has similar things planted in it. I think mostly beets over here. So I'm looking forward to that. I may have to replant a few areas. There's the beets. Yep. Got me some beets coming. And over here, you see the green there? That's the carrots that wintered over. And they were small, and now they're filling out, and I felt under the earth, and they're getting fat. I'm actually going to have some nice carrots. And these are garlic that had wintered over as well, and they're coming along nicely. And I was so surprised to find this. See this with the purple flower on it? It's salsify or salsify. I don't know how you say it. I think it's salsify. I planted it last year. It never came up. Well, it decided to come up this year. There's at least 2 of them. And what that is a faux oyster plant. The roots taste like oysters. And back in the 1700s in Colonial Williamsburg, I know they used it there a lot for a poor man's oyster. So I'm excited to try that. And in contrast, you should see that my rhubarb is getting bigger. So that's exciting. Up here is my lavender, doing well. And in this corner, look at all this comfrey. The flowers are beautiful. I put maybe 2 plants back there a year ago. So if you're going to plant comfrey, don't put it anywhere you don't want it to spread, because it will go everywhere and the roots go super deep. But it's great stuff to have as compost. Chop and drop it around your fruit trees or vegetables. Those deep roots bring up a lot of minerals to the leaves, and they really help feed your plants. You can put it in your compost too. Now this is my Granny Smith apple. And it didn't get any blooms this year. It's very young, so I'm hoping next year it'll do something. This is one of my many raspberry plants that are around the perimeter of my garden. And here's my Montmorency cherry. It's already bloomed, and these little red specks are the remains of the flower buds. And then what they do is turn into these little green cherries. Let's see if I can find you one here. Right, there's one. I see one peeking under the leaves. Let's find a better one. There's a couple right there. Those are what the cherries start looking like. So I'm going to have a bunch of cherries on this Montmorency cherry tree. This is a sour cherry, but it's fine for pies because you put sugar in it. And I think I'm going to get my best harvest yet on this tree. It's about 5 years old. It's a pretty little tree. This is my nectarine, and it went nuts. And it was totally covered everywhere, top to bottom, with blossoms, and now there are lots and lots of fruit starting on it. I'm hoping I can keep them going and get quite a few off it. I'll probably have to even limit them, pick some off so the rest can mature. But lots of nectarines on that tree. Now my garden is all organic, and these trees are all dwarf. This is my peach tree. It started out as a 4-foot stick 2 springs ago from Stark Brothers, and now see the peaches coming? Only 2 springs here, and it's already probably 8 feet tall with peaches. I'm so excited to have fruit this year. If I can only keep them going and keep them away from disease and bugs. But I'm doing everything organic, so I got to be careful with what I spray with. This is my Asian pear, and it too went crazy. Look at all those Asian pears starting. It was loaded with beautiful blossoms, and they're falling off and are turning into Asian pears. Itty bitty right now, and I may have to pick some of these off too so the tree can support as many fruit as it's trying to produce. Really exciting times. And that is espaliered around our seating area, so it will turn into a living pickable fence, the same as this one. This is a plum tree. See the little plums starting? Itsy bitsy. There's some sections that are loaded with them. Like right, let's see, not there. There's a few there. Where's that? There they are. Look at, see all them growing there? Yep, those are plums. So I'm going to have some plums this year too. Again, these were started 2 springs ago as a 4-foot stick. Now this was an apricot tree. It's 2 springs old, but it's never gotten a flower and no fruit yet. I think it's self-pollinating, so I don't think it needs another one. It just may take longer for it to start producing fruit. I'm surprised the other ones did so early. Yep. It's a pretty little tree, and it's espaliered beautifully. See how far it goes out on the wires. And this is my gala apple, also espaliered very nicely as I train it into a pickable living fence. There's where the blossoms were. I still have some blossoms on it. And then the other blossoms, if you look close, they're swelling up underneath. They're going to be apples. Right there. See the little swelling, like little cups? Yep, they're turning into apples. Very early yet, but they're going to do it. And while they're turning into apples, there's other blossoms that are still just opening. So let's hope this tree is going to be prolific for me. It's probably 9 feet tall. And it was just a 4-foot stick when I put it in 2 springs ago. Stark Brothers did right by me. And if you want to see the video where I opened the box from Stark Brothers when I got these, I'm going to attach it to this video so you can see that. My last update, I showed you my fig, and it had just a tiny bit of green at the end of the branches. And now look at the fig leaves are really turning out nicely. They'll get even bigger, but they're doing a real nice job growing now. Don't know if I'll get any fruit yet. Fig might take a while, but got some nice fig leaves coming. This is a boysenberry plant, and it's just starting to get little berries on it. This is a goji berry, and I planted that 2 springs ago. Have not seen anything yet. My pretty bleeding heart bush. This is a red vein sorrel, very nutritious and has health benefits. This is my Bing cherry. Had a couple of blossoms, but nothing on it yet. Here's some pretty lily of the valley that's on the side of my house under the eaves. And here's some red azalea, and next to that by my front walk is some white azaleas. And also out front I have some herbs. I have a lamb's ear, which is quite prolific and everywhere. And here's some oregano growing in a pot, wintering over and doing just fine. This is some yarrow. I've got 2 plants of that in the yard. And here is some rosemary growing very large out front. And this is the first year my lilac bloomed. It's only about, 3.5 feet tall. And my pink dogwood is itty bitty as well, but it had a beautiful display this year. This is a type of phlox, not creeping phlox. It's a different kind of phlox that's growing. And you probably recognize this. It's a Gerber daisy. Over here, my roses, see the red color? They're ready to bloom. And here's a yellow one that the buds are starting to form, getting ready to bloom. This is my tree peony, which puts on quite a display as well. The front of my house is lined with this dappled willow, and the orange tip foliage almost look like flowers when it's in its full color. And here is a crepe myrtle coming into color. And down below the crepe myrtle, I have canna coming back from last year. And here's a few blueberries starting. And I also have some blackberries starting. These are thornless blackberries. Here's another shot of those dappled willow. They've got lilies growing underneath them. And here's the tops of them where they've got orange tips. Here's some lemon balm. And here's a common weed that's been used for many skin irritations, and that would be dock.